What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Tyrone Hunter, the Headhunter, back in the building one more again. Man, you see the title. I ain't gonna hold you. We gonna get into it. Make sure you stay to the end of the video because this one gonna be explosive. You ain't gonna have to watch no more videos on, the young Dolph situation, Big Jook, Yo Gotti, to get a full understanding as to what happened and what's going on right now. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. But anyway, man, let's get into it. So, first and foremost, young Dolph pre-crew did not have anything to do with Big Jook murder. And that's a guaranteed fact. Young Dolph pre-crew did not have anything to do with Big Jook murder. All right. Secondly, Yo Gotti ain't have nothing to do with his brother getting murdered. Yo Gotti's mother wasn't right there on the scene when Big Jook, got shot and ran away from the car on some super acrobatic thing. Big Jook location was not dropped at the funeral home. It was it was clear as day, like this was a family member whose funeral he was attending, and everybody knew he was going to be there, and it was just, a crime of opportunity. It wasn't no Navy SEALs, it wasn't no, and then you gotta keep in mind, young Dolph pre-record label crew are artists. Young Dolph thing was about money, not beefing. So that's one thing he's not going to do. He's not going to get his artists or even people, that rock with him to get on those street, gangster type time, because that's not what he was about. He was about money and securing the bag. So if you know anything about him, you know that. Now, was it people probably from his neighborhood, people that had love for him, people from Memphis, that probably took on, the killing of Jook thing? Yeah. But, stop putting information out there as if this is, young Dolph people specifically had something to do with this, because you got to remember, man, feds could build a case. You don't want any of young Dolph people who may not have nothing to do with nothing to get arrested or get locked up or be charged with a conspiracy because people were putting out their claims and allegations. It was even said it was 100,000 on Big Jook head. The same thing, like, okay, it was 40,000 on young Dolph head. Where y'all getting these numbers from? And if somebody put a bag on somebody's head, who's gonna be the one to tell the world, oh yeah, I put a bag? Because if you know that a bag was on his head, then 9 times out of 10 you know who put that bag. And if you know who put that bag, then you got enough information to get this person locked up and sent to jail. And if you got enough information to get this person sent to jail, then that means this person want to get caught, and nobody do business like that. The streets don't run like that, and this is why we're going to get into it. This is why we're going to break it down. Man, like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm going to take it from the top to the bottom. I'm going to break it all down to you so that it makes sense. You ain't never going to have to watch another video to be able to understand what happened with the young Dolph, with the Yo Gotti, with the Big Jook, with the Goan. You don't have to watch another video to understand what's going on. Okay, so now let's start from the top for what we know. Okay, there's currently 2 people that's locked up for the killing of young Dolph. They waiting to go to trial. You got straight drop, and I'm gonna try not to put too much names in here, but I want to give you enough information so that you could follow along. Okay, so you have individuals that's locked up for the actual shooting of young Dolph. They're locked up. So that can't be disputed. They had something to do with it. Okay. Now, who else is associated with that? Goan, right? Mr. Hernandez. Okay. So they say he was a shooter in the Dolph case. The other thing they say is that he allegedly pretty much orchestrated the entire hit on young Dolph. So let's start with that first. That is totally false. That's a rumor. That was something that was put out there. That's something that does not make no sense anywhere under, my hat of common sense. Anybody that got common sense would know that that didn't happen. And let me explain to you why. Because let's take the feelings and the emotions out of it and let's deal with the facts. Okay, so if Goan was responsible for passing the bag off to the shooters to kill young Dolph, he would have been considered the mastermind of the crime. And he would not have gotten bail, because that means he would be part of the crime. See, you don't get rewarded and you don't get let go from jail when you are part of a crime. Go back in history and tell me one person that ever was accused of committing a crime and that was sitting in jail and got a $90,000 bail and got released while everybody else is in jail. They want the mastermind. And because they wasn't able to determine that he was the mastermind, or, that he was the one that gave money to these dudes to kill young Dolph, this is the reason why he got off on a $9,000 bail. The bail was actually $90,000, but when it comes to bail, you pay 10% and you get out. So he got out of jail for $9,000, and he's back on the streets. Why did they release him? They released him because he has nothing to do with the crime. There was no money that went from his hands to the shooter's hands that they can prove that would make him guilty of the charges. So this is why they let him go. Why did they arrest him in the first place? Well, because of the rumors, because of the speculation. The main reason they locked him up is because the house that the white Mercedes-Benz was found at, was filmed at, pictures was taken of this car at this particular house. That's the house that Goan lived in. That was his residence. So because that was his residence, they needed him to testify or to confirm that that car was parked at his house, as well as confirm that these individuals were driving the car so that it connect the shooters to the car. Once they were able to establish that, that's really all they need to secure the conviction against the shooters. So that's the reason why they snatched Goan up, to verify that the individuals that were accused of killing young Dolph were driving this car, and that this car was parked at this address, which is his address. Man, hit that like button and share this video, okay? So that's the first myth right there that we want to dispel, is that money went from Goan hands to the shooter's hands to get young Dolph knocked off. So now if that's dispelled, then what that also does is that clears the myth away from Big Jook giving Goan money to give to the shooters. Because if Big Jook gave money to Goan to give to the shooters, it would have been some sort of wire transfer. It would have been some sort of money exchange in hands. It would have been a text message, a phone call. It would have been something speaking about this that could be verified to tie Big Jook to Goan for handing off money to commit this killing. And if you don't believe what it is that I'm saying, the only thing you have to do is go backwards. Wasn't Big Jook arrested for during the investigation for the killing of young Dolph? Wasn't he arrested? I'm pretty sure they went through his cell phone records, they went through his life. with a fine-tuned comb, and they had to conclude beyond a shadow of a doubt that she had nothing to do with this crime. Because if he had something to do with the crime, if Big Jook put a bag on young Dolph head, he would be in jail right now. The shooters would not be in jail. They would not be sitting there by themselves, ready to get life in jail and let Goan and Big Jook go, and they the ones that paid the bag, knowing that the people who masterminded the crime, they would get the time and the shooters would get less time for cooperating. So that clearly shows and proves right there that Big Jook did not put a bag on young Dolph's head, because that information would have been came out. Young Dolph been dead for 3 years. And if Big Jook didn't put a bag on, young Dolph's head, then that means Gotti had nothing to do with young Dolph getting killed. Hit the like button and share this video. It's very important that we understand exactly what happened and exactly what transpired. Now we know. Let me give you a second to hit the like button, man, because I'm giving y'all the real spill. Y'all want to know what's really good? I'm letting y'all know what's really good. Forget the rumors, forget the speculation, forget what you heard, forget what people saying, because this is what they feel. No, what we're talking about is what actually transpired. Now you could go and watch First 48, you could watch True Crimes, you could watch any kind of documentary that you want. The mastermind of a crime will always get arrested. Now, I even heard people saying dumb stuff like, oh, that's the reason why they let Goan go, so that, pretty much he could get, Big Jook and Yo Gotti on tape to admit that they committed the crime, so that he could send him to jail and he could get locked up. This is not the movies, folks. This is real life. This is real life. If Goan got locked up for the killing of, for pretty much passing a bag off to the shooters who killed young Dolph, if he gets released, Big Jook and Yo Gotti and nobody else is going to be around him, because it looks too much like he's giving up information. And that's the only way you're going to get out of jail, if you give up, some information in regards to a crime. That's why he was able to get bail. They was able to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that he had nothing to do with the crime. And young Dolph family would not have agreed to him getting a bail if he had anything to do with this crime. So in a nutshell, what happened is the rumors, which are lies, the rumors that Goan passed off money to the shooters to get young Dolph killed, and that the money came from Big Jook, those lies is the reason why Lotta Cash Desto, Mr. Goan's daughter, got murdered, as well as why shooters took out Big Jook. Because of lies, because of misinformation, because of people making things up that they feel make sense. And those rumors spread to a point to where people started believing them. And now all of these deaths happen as a result of lies that were spread. Hit the like button and share this video. This is the information that need to get out there. The truth really need to get out there. The truth is that Lotta Cash Desto died for nothing. Big Jook died for nothing. And all of the other people that died as a result of this entire young Dolph situation, they died for nothing. Some may say. And then you have others that will say, because their names were brought up in the conversation, and because people felt they had something to do with it, emotions was running so high, and this is why these individuals' deaths were inevitable. Because I'm gonna take you back to something Ice Cube said at one time. And for those of y'all that's not familiar with Ice Cube is one of the first gangster rappers of rap, period. In general, he's doing the basketball thing now, the Big Three. Of course, he's the one, you know, who had the Friday movies franchise as well as the barbershop movies franchise. That's Ice Cube. But Ice Cube said something many, many years ago that still holds true to this day. He said this probably about 30, 40 years ago. He said, if you're not from the ghetto, don't come to the ghetto because you wouldn't understand the ghetto. And this is what this is a classic example of. See, when it comes to the streets and when it comes to the hood, it's not about what's right or what's wrong. It's about what people feel, what people think. That's what they act on. And that's what this is a case of. Big Jook got killed all because people felt he had something to do with young Dolph death. Lotta Cash Desto got killed because they felt her father had something to do with young Dolph death. But when we look at the facts of the matter, as much money as young Dolph is worth, you think anybody to shoot him is only going to take $40,000 and it's 3-4 shooters? Come on, knock it off. You're killing somebody for $10,000. All the money that he worth. And if somebody wanted him dead that bad, be it Big Jook and Yo Gotti, they millionaires. If they want to get somebody knocked off, they gonna put more than $40,000. And that was a rumor that was spread by somebody. If y'all want to know who spread that rumor, man, go back to 2 years ago and go back to the videos. But it's definitely somebody that was part of young Dolph camp that put that rumor out there that it was $40,000 put on young Dolph head. And I think that's an insult. I think that's an insult because regular people that get a bag put on their head is more than $40,000. As a matter of fact, FBG Duck from Chicago, may he rest in peace, they said $100,000 was put on his head. And he was nowhere near in terms of fame and acclaim, the kind of person that young Dolph was. So we kill that rumor right there. So, man, y'all got 2 people killed. And when I say y'all, I'm not talking about the people that's looking at this video right now. I'm talking about people that deals with spreading false information. Y'all are the ones that got not young Dolph killed, but that got Big Jook killed, got Lotta Cash Desto killed, got Chula Mafia Teasy killed. Misinformation is what got them killed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm going to give you a chance to like. And the reason why I keep telling y'all to like the video is because the more you like the video, the more you comment and share the video, the information get out there to the people that really need to hear it so that we could get the truth out there and people could finally understand, you know, what's going on and what's happening. Now, I'm going to go backwards before I go forwards, right? Because y'all just like the video. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna go backwards. Big Jook. Why did he get murdered? Was he set up? You know, was his location drop? No, none of that. None of that. Because of the person who died, who was a big drug dealer, you know, it was on a flyer. Information was out there that this was going to be a funeral. This was like a gangster of all gangsters funeral, and that Yo Gotti and Big Jook, who were family, who were relatives, people knew that they was going to come through and pay their respects, whether they was going to come through for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or what have you. And, you know, it was probably one of the only opportunities to get next to them. Now, I'm not going to go with some of the other speculation that I heard or some of the other information that was put out there, but what I will say and what it seems like is that Big Jook went to the funeral and things of that nature. Nothing happened at the funeral. Why? Because it was too much police. Yo Gotti was there. You know he had an army of security. What it sounds like is Big Jook only had 1 security personnel with him, and whomsoever was at the funeral, be it inside or outside, that was watching, that was paying attention, they was able to see that Big Jook only had 1 security personnel, and it just made him an easy target. And I believe from that point forward, the funeral passed, you know, they see where he went from there, and then later on in the evening, you know how it be when it's somebody's birthday or a funeral or whatever. After it's all said and done, the funeral, people go to the burial and things of that nature. Real close knit friends and family, they get together, to have a little dinner, drink a little bit, talk a little bit, in memory of the person who passed away. And I believe that's what happened. And this was held at a location, which they say was a restaurant, where just intimate, people that were close to the individual that passed, that's where they met. And in the course of that, Big Jook came out to smoke a cigarette or smoke whatever it was he was smoking. Nobody else around. Whoever was following him was able to see that there was nobody else around. It was only two people, which was Big Jook and his security guard, and they seized that opportunity. They seized that opportunity. They took advantage of that window to do what it was that they did, which was, gun down Big Jook and his security, and they got up out of Dodge. They got away in a car that had no plates on it. So now again, and we're going to dispel the other myth that, Young Dolph artists, his pre-organization, they had something to do with this hit. One thing for sure, two things for certain, what Young Dolph taught is getting money, and he championed the hustlers and getting to a bag. He did not preach violence. And this is not to say he wasn't with violence, but he did not preach violence. And he did not preach to his people like, go ahead and crash out and throw your life away if something happened to me. And, I don't personally think or feel that they're going to put their life on the line and lose everything it is that they have, to pretty much try to avenge Young Dolph. I could be wrong in terms of that. But what I will say is if they did decide to crash out and, put their life on the line to avenge Young Dolph, now they got to worry about their family and their whole bloodline getting wiped out once people find out they got something to do with it. So again, when it comes to the streets and when it comes to real life, these are some of the things that people think about. This is not the movies. And this is not what some people are saying in their rap songs. Oh, yeah, you kill mine and I'm going to come at you and da-da-da-da-da. No, but what we do know about the hood is that if you from the hood and if you from a certain neighborhood, people got love for you. And you never know who's going to take on the task of avenging you, especially if you somebody that the whole neighborhood got love for. It could be somebody that ain't even know you, somebody that never met you in person, but it just your name is so mythical and so legendary, that it's like, okay, so, they took the biggest gangster figure from my neighborhood, man. I ain't feeling that. They out there smoking on what they smoking on, sipping on what they sipping on, popping on what they popping on, and then, man, they decide to go out there, ride out, and crash out, and then boom, that's what it is. So nobody could say it. You can't point the finger at who's allegedly behind the killing, but stop saying that Pre had something to do with it. Stop saying that, it could have been somebody from Young Dolph family. It could have been a friend of you understand what I'm saying? Like, you just don't know. But to put a label on and say this person is directly behind it, what you're doing is you are putting out there to the world that these people committed this crime, and you make it easier for the FBI, the police, or anybody else to solve a crime. I understand that some of y'all intentions, which is, you are who you are and you do what you do. But at the end of the day, it's just all speculation. People are just basing things off of thoughts and feelings. But this is what's really going on. Hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you stay to the end of the video. I'm about to wrap it up right now. I'm about to give y'all exactly what happened behind the entire Young Dolph situation. I'm going to break it down as fast as possible so you can wrap your mind around it, so you can make it make sense for you, and you can know what's really good. So let's get to it. So now, Young Dolph happened to be in an unfortunate situation, okay? So Young Dolph, although from the streets and the hustler, created a music label. He had a lot of people that was riding with him, and he was moving from a street individual to a businessman to a music mogul, because that's what he was about. He saw how much money could be made in the music industry, and that's what he was focusing on, bringing in more artists, you know, that would generate more sales, and he could make more money in terms of, you know, his record label. So during this time, and this is all documented, so I'm not giving up any information that's out there. So during this time, you had a group of individuals in the street called Trula Mafia, right? And, you know, pretty much Trula Mafia is pretty much, they ran in and around Young Dolph's hood in that area of North Memphis. All right, cool. So now, in 2018 and 2019, the leader of Trula Mafia was gunned down. And as a result of that, Trula Mafia split in half, where it had two factions. You had Trula Mafia, and then you had Double R, which was Rich and Reckless, okay? So these two factions, pretty much, they started going to war against each other, right? Now, Trula Mafia was closely aligned with Young Dolph, and the individuals who allegedly killed Young Dolph, they part of Trula Mafia. This is all documented. You know, if y'all want to go back and, you know, look at some videos and do some research, is that it was documented that the guys who actually killed Young Dolph is part of Trula Mafia, and that Trula Mafia, you know, was supposed to be the hitters in Young Dolph camp. You know, they had a real strong relationship. So when Trula Mafia split in half, where you had two different factions, Young Dolph wasn't into the street side of things. He was into the music side of things. He had love for Trula Mafia, and then, you know, individuals that pretty much were running with Double R, he had love for them as well. Okay, so as fate would have it, Young Dolph signed an artist by the name of Moochie Grape. Moochie Grape was a direct op to Trula Mafia. So what happened as a result of that is Trula Mafia allegedly robbed this dude Moochie Grape and took his pre-chain, the one that was given to him when he was signed to Young Dolph. And then there's pictures out there that one of the shooters in the Young Dolph case, he has the pre-chain through the belt loop on his pants. Okay? Now, once this happened, that was Trula Mafia saying to Young Dolph that, listen, man, we don't agree with you bringing ops into the camp. Like, we cool with you, we rock with you, but you bringing ops into the camp that we got to be around all the time. They're going to bring their op friends. It's going to be something. So, you know, they took it as disrespect. Pretty much they robbed Moochie Grape. And Dolph didn't retaliate in regards to that, because when it comes to the streets and it comes to understanding the streets, although Dolph was moving on to a point where he was becoming more a businessman in terms of the music industry, and he wasn't directly involved in the street beefs and stuff like that, he understood how people could take personal, you know, what it was that he did in terms of signing this individual named Moochie Grape. So that was where a little division started behind or between Young Dolph and Trula Mafia, okay? Now, when you fast forward, there was an individual that was down with Double R that was allegedly killed by somebody. And the person who killed this guy that was down with Double R, although Double R and Trula Mafia was feuding, but you know how it is if y'all brothers and what have you. Y'all could be going at each other, but if an outsider do something to one of y'all, pretty much y'all gonna be on the same page and y'all gonna ride on that person. So there was a member from Double R. Okay, so the easiest way to explain it, the leader of Trula Mafia got murdered. His brother became the leader of Double R. He wound up getting murdered. So two brothers got murdered. Now, the person who killed the leader of Double R, Young Dolph signed that individual to his record label after Moochie Grape. And Trula Mafia took that personal. And this is why Chula Mafia members are the ones charged for killing Young Dolph. And it kind of makes sense. Okay, Young Dolph signed one artist. We beat him up. We let you know, like, man, listen, you signing our ops. And then it seems like Young Dolph got an understanding of what's going on, but then now you sign now the killer of one of our other friends. And that pretty much seemed like it was the last straw. So this is why Chula Mafia members are locked up for killing Young Dolph. Now, it didn't seem like they needed a bag. They didn't need a reason to make the move that they made. They already robbed one of Young Dolph artists that Young Dolph signed. So it's not like they were scared of Young Dolph or they were scared of what heat and what pressure was going to come behind it. So which means Chula Mafia didn't respect anybody else on Young Dolph's squad, which is pre-members. They didn't think or feel that any of them was going to move for Dolph because they wasn't built like that in their minds. So they weren't scared of them, which means nobody else was scared of them, right? And Young Dolph, in their mind, they feel he disrespected a second time. And this is why, you know, they wound up killing him. Because of the people that he signed and not, you know, being aware or understanding the street politics and how the decisions that he made as a music executive are the things that the streets took personal, and this is why they got him out of there. So now when you try to piece things together, you look at the ties behind Goan and the shooters. Again, the residence where the car was parked at was the residence that Goan resided in. And when the police found this out, when they found out who lived in that address, who owned that address, they needed the person at that address to confirm that that car was there, which is the vehicle that was used, you know, in the assassination of Young Dolph. They needed that vehicle to be confirmed at that address, which ties to the shooters. And that's how Goan pretty much is connected to the shooters. And then they from the same neighborhood. Goan is an OG from back in the days that used to run with Big Jook. You know, allegedly at one point in time, Young Dolph used to supply Big Jook. So they all knew each other. These is all older individuals. So that's the connection, okay? So that's the story. That's the information. That's why Young Dolph got killed. Now, because media outlets, because people's speculation, it could be bloggers or anybody else who put the information out there that Goan is the one that paid them, and the money came from Big Jook, and the money from Big Jook came from Yo Gotti. You know, these rumors, these speculations, and this false information that y'all put out there, that people put out there, got innocent people killed. So whether you call it entertainment or whatever, that false information got people killed. And the murder of these individuals is on y'all hands. Now, Young Dolph got killed because of street politics that nobody would have saw coming. It's unfortunate. Rest in peace, Young Dolph. And the people who was responsible for killing them, you know, allegedly they're the ones that are locked up right now, and they're going to have their day in court. And all of the information is going to come out. Goan didn't have anything to do with setting Young Dolph up. Because if he did, he would be incarcerated right now. So because of the false rumors and allegations, his daughter got murdered. May she rest in peace. And now it seems like Big Jook got murdered for the same exact thing. And they may want Yo Gotti and Black Youngster as well, because when it comes to the streets, it's not about right or wrong. It's not about, you know, whether something is true or not. A lot of times it's what people feel. And it's the same thing that happened with Biggie and Pac. They said, okay, well, Biggie has something to do with Pac getting murdered, so Pac died. So quite naturally, they wanted Biggie dead. After they got Biggie dead, you know, the war was over. So this seemed to be the same scenario, is that until they kill everybody that had something to do or who they feel is responsible for Young Dolph being murdered, whether it's true or not, they want them dead. And what I want y'all to understand is that that's not going to solve things, because murder begets murder. And now they just killed Big Jook, Yo Gotti brother. So that might bring Yo Gotti into the picture. Do I think it's smart? No. But the feds is going to be watching. You know, the police is going to be watching. And if Yo Gotti do decide to make a move one way or another, you know, pretty much they going to come at him. So it's just an unfortunate situation. But yeah, man, this your boy Tyrone Hunter, the Headhunter. I just wanted to drop in and just give y'all the real story, you know, front to back, as to why all of these deaths been happening, as to why young Dolph got murdered. So y'all know the truth, and y'all stop listening to rumors and speculation. Man, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you like the content. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And again, the more you share the video, the more you like the video, the information get out there, you know, to more people, so that they could get the truth and they could understand what's going on. So the same way people wanted to spread lies, let's spread the truth. Let's spread the real information so that people could stop going off of lies and rumors. And I mean, you know me, at the end of the day, I'm trying to find out what's really good. And, you know, what that's going to tell is we're going to do some digging. We're going to try to get to the bottom of things, you know, so I can let y'all know what's really good. So I appreciate you rocking with me. If you subscribe to the channel already, thank you for that. If you're not subscribed, man, subscribe to the channel. We're going to continue to bring that heat. And, yeah, man, that's what's really good. You know, so, like, stop listening to the lies. The truth is here. The truth is here. Yeah, the truth is here. What's really good? That's what's really good. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm going to catch you in the next one.